Bo Fisher here, Fisher & Weens Wealth Management. As a reminder, your company has hired me and my firm to help oversee the 401k plan and to educate you on what's happening in the markets, in your investing. And so it's time for an update on what's been going on in 2017. We're in late summer, and the stock market, depending on which indice you're looking at, has done fairly well. The largest companies, mainly some tech companies, have had some positive returns. We call those the FANG stocks. F-A-N-G. Stands for companies like Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and Google. Companies like that. They've actually fared very well in 2017. So the NASDAQ index, which is comprised largely of tech companies, is up roughly 16% this year. The S&P 500, 500 largest companies in the country, that's also done fairly well, because those FANG stocks are in there, by the way. That's up about 10%. But the Russell 2000, which is comprised of about 2,000 of the smallest companies or smaller companies in the United States, it's only up 2%. So while some of the big companies have done extremely well or fared very well, a lot of companies have not done so well this year. So how is the economy doing? Depends on who you ask and where you are and where your money is invested. Something else I want to talk about is, are we going to have another recession soon? It's one of the questions I get very, very often. Well, it's hard to predict these things, obviously. But one of the things I will show you is what history looks like. If you ever took an economics class, you'd learn two things pretty quickly. One, supply and demand. If supply is low and demand is high, prices go up. They're directly correlated. Another thing you would learn is that businesses have cycles. So do economies. There's expansion and there's contraction. There's expansion and contraction. And so what I'm going to show you here is a chart of the S&P 500 over the last 40 years. Over the last 40 years, it's done really well. There's a lot of money that has been made by investing in the S&P 500. This is a logarithmic scale, by the way, on the y-axis. Now I'm showing you on these gray lines, these are the recessions that have happened across those years. And what you're going to see is there's a large amount of white, which is the expansion, but there are lots of times where we've had some contractions. And how often do they come? Well, it's not perfectly like clockwork, but it's roughly every 8 to 10 years or so. And how far away are we from the last recession? Well, the last recession was at the end of 2007, 8, and 9. And so we're about 8 to 9 years removed from the last recession. So are we going to have another recession? Well, we can't predict that exactly. But if you look at this chart, it might indicate that if this continues, if this business cycle continues into the future, that one is coming. So what does that mean for you? Well, that means that if you're completely aggressive in your portfolio and you've made a lot of money over the year, let's say, if that's you, you just need to understand that if one of these recessions happen and a downturn happens, that you could feel some of that, quote, pain as money comes out of your account as the market comes down. Just understand that. We really believe in diversity. You've heard me most likely talk about diversity and how important that is. And so this is a good time to just check your portfolio to make sure you're fully diversified. So you feel free to give us a call at Fisher & Weens Wealth Management. You can also email us. And so until I see you again at the next education meeting, feel free, like I said, to give us a call, but certainly enjoy the rest of your summer.